Gamers, we're back. We're back, and for the first time in a long time, we're on the right side of the dirt here. And this is going to be Mom's knife, so I'm not even... Little Steven! Actually, Little Steven, I'm putting on my video essay hat. Why Little Steven is underrated. It's actually underrated to get it in your first item room, because this way we might fight Steven, and if we fight Steven... then Steven is forced to give us Steven, which is a damage upgrade. We could also get the Steven transformation, which of course would turn us into the lead singer. Well, one of the co-lead singer. I always saw him as the lead singer, but of the Bare Naked Ladies, Stephen Page, who might have the distinction of being the only rock star in history kicked out of a band for doing drugs, but not doing so much of them that, like it screwed up the band, but he just got arrested or something, or he got caught, and the rest of the band was like, "No, man, we don't want our rock and roll image tarnished by the idea that one of our members might be using drugs. Get out it! We had no idea, man." As a Canadian, especially as an Ontarian, born in 1988, I do have a soft spot for the Bare Naked Ladies. Maybe they had other reasons for kicking Steven out of the band, and they use that as an excuse, but come on, man. Steven is the band. There's no band if it's not for Steven's voice. It's just a bunch of goofy guys playing the upright bass and going, you know, "Don't blame it on Yoki." Anyway, I think nobody really knows what I'm talking. Maybe VIP Daniel's watching this and they're going, "Yes, man, yes, finally someone's saying it," but everybody else is going, "Huh? That band from the Big Bang Theory?" Yeah, man, unfortunately. That's my goats up there. That's my goats. But maybe because of watching the Big Bang Theory, some Sheldons out there managed to listen to Gordon and maybe broaden their horizons a little bit, even though it's just kind of like ska adjacent, but I think it's a fun album. It's got some fun in it. So sue me, man. Sue me. I like to have fun listening to music from time to time. I don't have any bombs. Give me 1 cent so I could buy the freaking thing in the shop. Come on. Come on, you saucy so-and-so. Are you seriously gonna tell me we can't get 1 extra cent to buy an item that's half price? Are you... Oh. Oh. Please, I'm begging you. Sire. Any poops in here? Whatever, the item sucked anyway. Sorry, I'm half distracted. My Discord's crashing out of me because I admitted I'd never had hot chocolate. Now, can I say, being in your 20s, you have the luxury of hubris, trying to explain... There was another poop. Oh, but the poop is only a 1% chance to drop a penny. I remember that stat. That's a nice back of the napkin calculation. I can't sweat a 1% chance. Who do you think I am, Nassim Talib? Anyway, long story short, very interdisciplinary Isaac commentary today. In your 30s, you just kind of go, yeah, it's weird. Because it is weird to be 37 and to have never had a hot chocolate, I think. Now let me explain to you how this happened. As a youth, thought I didn't like chocolate. For some reason, I got it in my head at a young age that I was just built different and didn't enjoy chocolate. This was false. I don't know what I was thinking. It wasn't that I had had bad chocolate. Even bad chocolate tastes pretty good to me. I don't know. Maybe I was trying to like cultivate a personality by being different than all the other kids or something. I'm not 100% sure. So that excluded me from trying hot chocolate for like 10 years. Then, around the time you might start to be more interested in trying hot beverages, I just wasn't, man. And I think I wouldn't say some validity to this, but that you can understand where I was coming from. Most of the time when I wanted a beverage, I wanted to be able to drink it right away. Instead of getting a hot beverage and then sitting and looking at it and burning my tongue on it and then being like, I hope it's ready now, I wanted it to be ready right away. So I would mostly just order cold beverages. Now you're gonna present a false dilemma. You're gonna say, oh, but there's no cold chocolate. That's true. So I would just get one of the other myriad cold drinks that might be available at an establishment. Bro, literally, it's cringe. It's cringe you took my charge from me and screwed up my whole calculus on this floor. So that genuinely lasted until I was like 25. I didn't really F with hot beverages until I was like 25. The thing is, by the time I reached that, which was like just over a decade ago, I was a coffee drinker. I don't really want to go to the coffee shop and get something that's not coffee related. Even though I should, to broaden my horizons at this point and at least know what a hot chocolate's like, most of the time I find myself at a coffee shop, I want to get a coffee drink. And that's how, after 37 years, I have found myself never having had hot chocolate. That explains it. And then you're going to say, because this is what always comes up, I don't want to get that item. I want to get this item. You're going to say, that's okay, NL, a hot chocolate's basically just a mocha. And I know you're going to say that because everybody has said that to me. And then I'm going to say, well, I haven't had a mocha either. So really, if I'm distilling it down to brass tacks, it's idiotic rules that I made for myself, just keeping me from broadening my horizons. And then also, I am very much... Like, you ever read one of those interviews with an old guy who's had, like, one type of sandwich every day for lunch, and the interviewers are boggled by it? They're like, or befuddled, I should say. They're like, okay, so I get it, peanut butter and jelly's good, but, like, no other sandwiches ever? And the guy's like, well, why would I risk it? I love peanut butter and jelly. And they're like, well, yeah, but you might love other sandwiches. He's like, if I love them equally, then wouldn't I rather just have the one that I already love? You know? That basically... To an extent, that is/was me. I do, when it comes to an establishment, like a restaurant or a cafe or even a genre of food to some extent, I have a tendency to flirt with the menu, flirt with variety until I find something I like, and then order that every time I go to the establishment for the rest of my life. It's new for me within the past year or two to not just get chicken McNuggets at McDonald's. I had thought that I would be a chicken McNuggets with Coke Zero for life sort of customer. And then recently, and by recently I mean, you know, like 2023 or whatever, I had a McDouble and I went, wait, the McDouble's kind of fire. But it does make things harder because now, anytime you go to McDonald's, you got to say, wait, is it a chicken nuggets day or is it a McDouble day? It adds another choice into your day. And I'm not 100% sure it really brings any extra value apart from now being able to relate when people go, hey, the McDouble's really tasty, and I can go, yep, yes it is. I don't think it brings any other utility necessarily, but I wouldn't necessarily say I regret it either. Where was I going with this? In fact, sometimes I will say I even notice the tendency within myself and then try to steer away from the skid. What I swear that I do this, and you're going to say why, and I'm going to say I don't know, but I love to do it because I find it, I don't know, I find it funny to just lie, I guess. But I'll be at a restaurant with my wife and, you know, inevitably the conversation turns to what are you going to order? And I'll say something like, I was looking at the chicken. The chicken looks nice. And she'll say, yeah, I thought you might go for the chicken. And then when the server comes and says, and for the madame, my wife orders, and then they say, and for monsieur, I say, I'll take the sable fish. And just make eye contact with her. Keep them guessing, man. It's not really, I know what you're thinking. You're like, it's not really nefarious. It's just sort of strange. And I would certainly agree with your assessment. But I don't do it necessarily to, you know, put a fly in the ointment. I do it just to be funny. So sue me. I add a little levity to the interaction. Everything's a bit. A lot of things are bits with a guy like me. How did I blow this guy up? I don't really know. Oh, you know, and actually I think I do know. When you come out of the camo, you do damage in an AoE, it looks like. If that's the case, that's actually incredible intel. Probably someone is crashing out in the comments. Is anyone going to tell him when you come out of camo, you do AoE damage, which can speed up the rate at which you can finish the room by... See, we're already getting into old habits here. I'm complaining about something that doesn't exist. You're complaining about something that's actually happening, and I'm pretending that that makes us the same. I mean, this is gonna work, though, man. Forget gonna work. Remember when you would look up a strategy guide to figure out how to beat Gertie? This was the state of gaming in, like, 2011, man. Of course, the real state of gaming, probably, like... I'd say somewhere in the Midwest, to be honest with you. I'm not talking about where they have the events. Obviously, those would be on the coasts, but... where do the gamers come from? Yeah. I'm feeling like the Midwest makes some sense there. Like, I feel like a lot of good gamers have got to be coming out of Colorado, outside of the Denver region. I just get that sort of vibe. Maybe they're too busy skiing. Or not dreaming, I don't know, but... It's a little callback to the last episode, in case you're not a knower. Okay, we can't afford to take this much damage. I'm not going to call it stupid, because there's no such thing as stupid damage. If you were going to take damage, and you think it's stupid, you should take that damage, because there's probably 3 other people in the class that wanted to take that damage, but they were too scared to ask. I have no idea what Birdcage does. Did... illuminate me to the acting talents of one Nathan Lane, though, when I saw it on home video back in, I'm going to say 1998. You're going to say it didn't come out in 1998? No, of course not, but that's when I was allowed to see it. Christine Baranski? Is that a Christine Baranski joint? My goat? My favorite Who from the Jim Carrey Grinch movie? Forget the name of that one. Probably The Grinch. They really called the movie How the Grinch Saved Christmas, huh? Kind of crazy. Bro was stealing stuff. I guess I'm just built different. I think stealing's like... Well, I was going to say it's not good, but it depends. I mean, if you're stealing from the rich to give to the poor, Robin Hood style, I don't know, maybe. I guess I'd have to look at it on a case-by-case basis, but you stand a pretty good chance, I would say. Stealing food to stay alive or something like that, sure, yeah, I get it. You know what? I'm not going to use a bomb. I should use a bomb for this, actually. We could get lots of good stuff out of this. We got exactly as much as I expected from the game at this point in my life. Hot take. I know we've been through this before on the stream, but maybe you've never heard it on YouTube. I genuinely think I've been talking a lot about how we can put some pressure on companies. We don't have a lot of tools at our disposal because you got to eat. And of course, you got to watch television. Have to have a phone. Have to be able to listen to music on demand, etc., etc. Why am I so psyched about having a battery charge, man? Is it really because I wanted to go up here? That doesn't seem smart. Unless it's freaking genius, bro. That's still pretty good. I can live with that. You know what? Come on. You get a big stat bonus too, I think. Can you just take me to 15 cents so I don't have to backtrack anymore? Yes! And you have to have heated seats in your car, of course, as we all know. You have to have heated seats in your car. But, so all these subscription costs, of course, are necessary. You have to have Adobe Photoshop. No, I mean, if anyone's telling you not to have Adobe Photoshop, they've lost their minds, obviously. In this economy, you gotta have Photoshop is gonna go after the groceries go, man. That's a non-negotiable. I really do think one of you, if anyone out there watching this is, like, if you have capital on the order of tens of millions of dollars, I think that's all it's going to take, mercifully. I want you to start a grocery store where if you use the self-checkout, they knock 2% off your bill. And the reason I want you to do this is so that you put pressure on the other grocery stores to give you a discount for using self-checkout. I'm not going to lie to you, it varies. With the hubris of a younger man, I was so stoked for self-checkout because I had this idea that the world would be awesome if it exclusively catered to people like me who base their self-worth on something as trivial as how fast they can get through the checkout queue at the grocery store without, there's always some slow person in front of me. So the self-checkout is perfect. No, bro, because there's just going to be a slower person in front of you at the self-checkout. Tell me I'm wrong. However, I'll stand by one thing. If you are a self-checkout head, the grocery store should be giving you a little bit of a discount because of the fact that you're allowing them to save on labor costs, which I think is not good, but it's good for the business owner. So I think that they should be forced to give you a little bit of a kickback, man. And they're not giving you a little kickback. And they've got little Randalls out there in everybody's Twitch chats that are saying things like, I would actually pay extra to use the self-checkout because then I don't have to have small talk with somebody. Bro, we're social beings. The faster you embrace that, the faster you're going to understand. I'm not going to say the secret to happiness, but at least, you know, a lever you can pull on to affect your mood a little bit. I like making small talk a little bit. And you might be saying, I'm a cashier and I hate when people make small talk with me. Okay, but that sucks for you. Sucks for you, but I'm already in the middle of asking how your day went. So, also, I know that you hate the small talk because you're like 24. That's why I line up with the cashier that's like in her 60s because I know she lives for that, man. Like, you ain't that special. Tier plus shot speed up. Give me... Oh, now we're freaking talking. I'm going all in here because my damage is so low. Just so you know, we're going to a place nearby. I gotta go. I'm going to... How much? My speed is not that good. My speed is not that good, but still. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to buy a battery charge and reroll the item room. Yeah, that was a reference to the Backstreet Boys song, The Call. This is the story about a call that changed my destiny. I said, I'm going to a place nearby. I've gotta go. Should have said no. I think that's exactly how it sounds. I was singing the Howie part. Howie Zowie, maybe. You ever think that Pavement is kind of like the millennial Steely Dan? Maybe the Gen X Steely Dan is a better way to describe it. Let me count the ways. Two creative forces essentially responsible for the creative output with competing sensibilities. Walter and Don versus Steven and the other Steven? Spiral Stairs? Anyway, came out with like 5 albums, almost all exclusively within one decade. The 70s for Steely Dan, the 90s for Pavement, and also Goats. Goats of making music, in my opinion. In this video essay, in these 3 paragraphs, I will elucidate the ways that I think Pavement is kind of the 90s version of Steely Dan. Also, Pavement a lot like Steely Dan, in the sense that they're both available on Spotify. And you can find their music in playlists that I have made. And I think I'm running out of options here, but music for guys who look like me, I think is a great example. Music where people think they know the band because they know the hits, but the back catalog actually has some of the slappers. I mean, for Pavement, some of the B-sides are crazy. Can you believe they never put Painted Soldiers on an album, bro? What were they thinking? They did my boy Spiral Stairs dirty with that one. They said, you have no good song ideas, Scott. Bro, have you heard Date with IKEA? Have you heard Painted Soldiers? Nah, man, I'm getting a little too insular here, sorry. I need some damage. I need some damage. Toot Sweet, man. Toot Sweet sounds like a French guy who likes farting. No, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like what they say in the French version of Dude, Where's My Car? Monsieur, où est ma voiture? What does mine say? Toot! What does mine say? Sweet! Vraiment? Vraiment? My soufflé? My soufflé avec beurre? Sans-beurre, sans-beurre. S'il vous plaît. Sans-beurre! C'est vrai? Je sais, je sais. Forgot what I was talking about. It took so much of my brain power to remember, like, 8th grade French class. playing the game that's got me saying stuff like La Palme est rouge. Okay, we have to make the guppy play. We have to at least try. I think I would save my existing health. I think you have to go Dark Bomb, man. I think it's pretty tempting to take Gimpy too, right? How many times you got to go on this thing? Exactly 2. I think that this decision, obviously this is a big one, but we're actually, and that's why I took Old Bandage, unfortunately, because like it would have been awesome to take Toothpicks, but I think we've set ourselves up so nicely if we can just get back to full HP from this point that like this could, how could you do this to me or try to do this to me? This could change the game for us. I'll give you 2 on this one because you could give me a Spirit Heart. Even better, bro. Now that's a very nice trinket. We got a lot of work to do still. And oh, but they synergize so well. Are you seeing this? We might have actually won the run with that incredible deal with the devil. All skill, by the way. 100% skill. Not to mention, holy cow, we got a lot of money. Rotten Baby is going to be so good for us as hopefully our damage increases. We're also 1 item away from becoming Guppy. Plus we have Guppy's Tail. And the Master of Unlocking, right? That sick Resident Evil reference. Well, obviously in that case. Well, save your D6. I think this is a more tactical run, but we're actually in a great spot. More tactical than the last. Save your D6 for when you go into the curse room, because we might be able to snag a Guppy item out of it. And then, Bob's your uncle. Statements that don't seem to make sense, but really do if you're my age. If you're my age, pretty much everybody's got an Uncle Bob, I think. I don't know, Uncle Bob, Uncle... Well, I guess I shouldn't tell you the names of all my uncles for, like, privacy reasons, but I got a few. Me nervously remembering that all of my security questions are, name your uncles. List the names of every single one of your uncles. Ooh. The unks be unklin', though. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Okay, we need a key. That stings. We need a key, and the key... Oh my god, I can't quite get over there. Can you get over there at least? Can you get a sniff? Can you get a sniff of the heart? And you're on a... You know what? I'm not using a bomb to have him eat a red heart. To get close enough for him to eat a red heart. That's just not going to happen. Also, I should stop taking myself out of camo. The camo is like... The AoE is somewhat valuable. I don't know if it scales with damage, but seems somewhat valuable regardless. Anyway, long story short, I'm not saying it makes you a bad person to not use the regular checkout. I understand the impetus to use the self-checkout. But the other thing is, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that the self-checkout was nice for a novelty, ignoring its effects on the potential labor market. I actually find the regular checkout a nicer experience, and there's one major reason. They don't respect you on the self-checkout. They don't give you a conveyor belt that's as long as the conveyor belt on the self-checkout. And also, so many people are using the self-checkout these days. When I was 24, the self-checkout was kind of like the move, because people were like, I don't know how to use the machines. Now everybody's filled with hubris and overconfidence bias, and they think that they know how to use the machines better than anybody, so they make a huge line, and then usually there's just like a nice older person behind the cash register who has nothing to do until I walk up. And all of a sudden I make them very, very busy, annoying them with my small talk, and then also going, hey, the price for that, hey, that said it was 99 cents. Sir, this is a ribeye steak. The price tag said 99 cents. Are you trying to take advantage of me? So yeah, I know a Jim Pattison-owned grocery store hates to see me walk up. Which is all of them. Nah, they love me there. Nah, they tolerate me there. I think they might not even know who I am. But I'm in there from time to time buying food and stuff. This is gonna work, man. If I could just get some damage upgrades, this is gonna work. Food, one of my favorite things to buy at the grocery store, for sure. What have you been buying lately, NL? Chicken breasts, potatoes, instant unflavored oatmeal that I flavor at home with a little bit of maple syrup. Cut up a whole banana. You know what would be a fire idea? Maybe it already exists in the flavored packages. What about... Wait, I'm literally inventing granola. I'm stupid. I was like, they should sell a pouch of like oatmeal toppings. Because whenever you tell someone you're eating oatmeal, inevitably the conversation becomes very annoying. Because they start to tell you, oh, have you gotten on that chia seeds meta yet? Are you on chia seeds and flax and agave syrup and slivered almonds? And you gotta put kiwi in it, but you gotta peel the kiwi. Like it goes from like, I mean, I'm literally buying a meal that's called instant, and it takes a minute, so there's no truth in advertising anymore to begin with, and then you're asking me to like the whole grocery list is just gonna be oatmeal toppings. So in my head, I was like, wouldn't it be sick to invent a product that was like, here's just a package of stuff you can pour into your oatmeal, and it's got some dried fruits, it's got some sweet stuff, it's got some nuts, and I realized that that's existed for 15,000 years, and it's called granola, and it's really good, and I eat it, which is one of the funniest parts, is that like it's not like this is something that I'm not aware of. Like I literally eat the food that I'm talking about. They're doing everything in their power to kill me on this run, and it's not going to work. I'm not going to let it work. We have such a good setup, we just need a little bit of help. Why would I come out of camo, bro? There was no need for this. Now you gotta wait for this to go away. I am going to come in here just in the vain hopes that we get something incredible. I was hoping we would become Guppy, but I guess one of the best items in the game will do. Riggy diggy doo. You know what? I need to trade a bomb for a key as well. Because, well, it's gonna be tough. I could even trade a heart for a key, but I need to go to the item room. I actually need to go to the shop and then go to the item room. It's an interesting run, man. It's right on that borderline. Okay, you could trade both for a key, I suppose. What's funny is that in my head, I was like, that worked out awesome, but it actually didn't. We lost both of the resources we could have traded only one for. It definitely does feel like Converter could really help. Like, it feels like Converter could make this unlosable. You got another one? Oh, but I would really like Black Candle, too. I was supposed to buy a key in here. Sorry, y'all. Could still happen. You know what? We'll take that anyway. Oh, and you, good sir, would probably love to pick that up. So defensively, the run is like so stacked. Offensively, it's got some trouble, but I mean, getting the pact for free really helps. You'll notice, by the way, a lot of my commentary is just impotent corporate rage. But I'm really not going to do anything about it, which is why I'm like coming up with ideas of what you should do about it. I'm not really like a Robespierre type of fella. I'm more just kind of, you know, take what you will. You really should get a little bit knocked off your bill if you go to the self-checkout, though. That only makes sense to me. That's the only thing that makes sense in this mixed-up world. And you know what? If you go to the regular checkout, they should knock 1% off. Why? Because they can afford it. Are you trolling? Go ahead. Grab that. What is this, man? Okay, range up so I can settle down. I'm not worried about that. I wonder what's on the docket this weekend. Weekends go by real fast, man. Got our daughter in a couple activities. I don't think that converted anything, man. Wait, is Converter changed now? No, I don't think so. I didn't really look at my health to see how it was affected here at all. But you know what? I was going to say it's Wildcard Weekend. It's the divisional round, actually. But Wildcard Weekend sounds better. It's got like a Happy Honda Days sort of thing going on. So I'm just going to say that until the NFL playoffs are over, as long as there's a game, it's Wildcard Weekend because you never know what's going to happen. That's what wild cards are, man. Now, I said, by the way, again, I'm not going to make any enemies unnecessarily. I said I was rooting for the Seahawks. Don't take offense if you're a Niners fan or if you root for any other team and you want the Seahawks to die or whatever. I don't know anything about football. And when I say root for, I probably won't even get a chance to watch the game. I'll probably, the extent of my quote-unquote rooting is that I will open my phone and Google search ESPN NFL, click on the top result and see what the score is, and if the Seahawks won, I'll go, yay! And if they lost, I'll go, oh well. Which is the opposite of how I feel about the Canucks right now. The Canucks, I Google TSN, NHL, and then if I saw that they lost, I go, yay! Because we really need to have a good chance in the draft lottery this year, or at least, you know, a chance to pick close to the top. I'm not deluded enough to think that we're going to get the number one pick. That, you know, it's a 20% chance of you coming last. So you got a long way to go there. But I am deluded enough to think that it's going to happen this time. It didn't happen any of the other times, but I think this time it's going to happen. Insanity is doing the same thing every time and expecting different results. But we're doing the same thing in a different way this time, and expecting the same results, which is different. Mogged? I'm hearing mogged. It's working, right? Yeah, it's working, man. You know what? Grab this. For those of you not in the know, I'm rooting for my... Well, here's the thing. I believe in the defector style. You always root for your guys. If I was watching the games, I would be wanting my team to win because I like when the blue team wins. But as I am not watching the games because the team is bad, I feel like it's okay to check the score and be stoked when we lose. But honestly, it's kind of... This is the second run of the Canucks being absolutely horrible in like the last 7 years. And I was around for the Brendan Gaunce, Lyndon Vey, you know... etc. era. Trust me, I was following the squad religiously back then. So I think I've earned the clout. Rooting for a team that is destined to suck and has no possible variance in, like, no chance that they could succeed is actually sort of awesome. Rooting for a team that's dominant, I imagine, has to be peak. But I haven't had the chance to do that in living memory, to be honest. In any discipline. Well, Team Canada at the Olympics, so fair enough. And I'm not trying to curse us, but like it has been a crazy run. If it ends this year, then so be it. But and that goes for both the women's and the men's side. They don't win the gold every year, but very, very frequently. But regardless, can you just pick that up for me? Thank you, sir. Sorry, I got sidetracked like 20 different times while I was talking, and to be honest, I sort of forgot my train of thought. I bet rooting for a dominant team is peak. But in lieu of that, I feel like rooting for a team that is destined to be horrible is actually awesome too, because you literally can't lose. If your team loses, hey, we're supposed to lose. We suck. Plus, losing's actually good. It sets us up better for the draft. If you win, you're like, oh my God, we won. Winning is cool as long as it doesn't happen too much, but it won't happen too much. And the reason it won't happen too much is because your team sucks. So you don't have to worry about it. And then it gets even better, and I don't know when the Canucks will be here. Maybe it'll be next year, maybe it'll be in 5 years, but it gets even better. I should not be picking these up yet until we can convert them, man. Lesson learned. It gets even better when you get a couple of good young players on your team. Because then you get the surety, the guarantee of the outcome of the game, where you don't really care if you win because you know your team sucks, but you also get to celebrate your young players. You get to be like, oh my God, yeah, we lost 4-2, but our young guy got a goal and an assist. He could be, this could be the next Wayne Gretzky. Now, what I would say, because I want to make you unhappy, is sometimes your young stud's best season ends up being his rookie season, and then he ends up breaking his back and like mentally sort of like struggling and never really recovering that confidence that he had. And I know he's on a resurgence now, but and then you draft like an awesome defenseman who is going to be like the franchise power play quarterback for your team, and then he gets traded away because your team sucks and he wants to win, and you don't blame him because you're like, well, who would want to stay here unless they were like from here? No, I get it, man. I get it. I'm just saying it doesn't always work out. Sometimes professional sports is just, you know, doing everything right, and then regardless of how you do it, a team from Florida wins. It's been known to happen. That's okay. I really, and at the risk of being offensive, as someone who's been through a certain degree of sports misery, by the Canucks, vis-a-vis the Vancouver Canucks, I don't have a ton of patience for people that are like just complaining about their sports team all the time, because it's not real. Like, you're not on the team. And I know you might be saying, because the next step is to either moralize your own situation as a fan, or moralize that your team is full of good guys who are all nice and goofy, and the other team is full of bad guys who are all bad people. When probably, I mean, there's good people and bad people in professional sports, but most of them are kind of probably cut from similar cloths, I guess is all I'm trying to say. Not trying to put the evil on everybody, but so you're probably saying something like, I just want my grandpa to see a win in his life, man. Yeah, but you know, Sabres fans got grandpas too. I'm sorry to tell you. Like, there's lots of grandpas out there who haven't seen a win. How old's your grandpa? There's probably younger grandpa or older grandpas out there. So I think this year we got to give the championship to the Sabres, bro, because there's older grandpas out there in Buffalo. And don't even get me started on the non-grandpas, you know? There's all sorts of familial relations that could be involved in this. So it's like, you can complain, but it's not that serious, I guess is all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to keep everybody honest here. Now, if you'll excuse me, we're headed to the next floor. Oh my God, we're almost done? I really would have thought by now that we would have had more damage. But it's kind of becoming clear to me that that's not going to happen. We're very, and I'm not saying this to court disaster. I gotta try this. But we are, we're very tough to kill, because when we take damage, we have a high chance to spawn health. On top of that, we also have Dark Bum, which is giving us a bunch of spirit hearts. And then the spirit hearts are turning into regular hearts via the converter. So we have a really, really, really clean setup. Where the heck am I? But even better than a clean setup would just be like some damage. Like a couple of damage upgrades would really hit the spot. I'm not going to deny that it's tough to imagine us losing this just because of the fact that we can really sustain a lot of hits, but yeah, I would be having more fun if we were able to maybe, like, you know, dish out some damage as well. Bro stole that one so quick I didn't even know there was a heart down there. I wanted him to take it, but still, like, I'm just kind of surprised. I didn't even see that guy either. Anyway. Sports, it's just sports. It's not that big of a deal. Sports kind of like Dungeons and Dragons for nerds instead of cool people, I guess, is the way I'm... Have you ever heard about this? Sports, they're taking the world by storm. You really don't have... Oh, you spit out a pill. No, you didn't. You spit out the devil card. And then you're going to spit out a spirit heart here, and I'm going to get another spirit heart, combine it with that spirit heart. We're going to convert it. I'll open this, I don't care. Oh, that's a damage upgrade! You heard it here first. There is a god. Don't pick it up yet. Don't pick it up yet. I picked it up too fast. As far as I know, you might be wondering, why is he waiting to use the converter? I think it's two becomes one. Like the movie Together. Oh, we want that too. What do you got for me, bro? I don't even... Wait, is that not... That counts as a soft guppy item, doesn't it? Yes! Oh my god! This is the greatest day of my life. The greatest day since I asked ChatGPT to write my wife a love letter. I felt bad as soon as I brought that evil into this world in the last episode, because I knew by admonishing writing a heartfelt letter using AI, there were going to be people out there that were like, I never thought of that before. That was... You don't understand, you're upsetting the natural balance. I'm not fixing the deck. I'm not slaying any wild animals. I have my words and I have a pen, okay? That's supposed to be my advantage. I have my words and I have a pen. And now you're letting a robot take the words. You're nullifying my advantage, Jerry. Not even an advantage, just the only point of leverage I've really got. Okay. After getting the damage upgrades and the guppy, I think there's no way I can pretend that we're going to lose this one. And you, by the way, I bet some of you out there were saying Unk was really pretending he was going to lose this one. Once again, I feel the need to say, have you noticed the caliber of runs that we've lost since we started recording episodes again? Like, we're on a 1 streak for a reason. These were not all garbage runs that, like, turned out, they weren't all train wrecks, let's put it that way. All the losses, that is. So I'm trying to ease myself back into it. I'm trying to build up good habits. Like standing inside of a beam of light that comes down from heaven. If you died in a car accident that wasn't your fault, how long do you think... This is my Reddit post on Heaven Reddit. AMA... I was minding my own business, sipping on a flat white on a patio, and a Toyota Tacoma jumped to the sidewalk and killed me by accident because they were looking at Instagram reels on their phone. I haunted them for 5 years. They got mad at me. Am I the asshole? I don't think so. Listen, you're not going to like hearing this, but I'm going to say it. You have to be the bigger spirit at some point. You can't haunt them for life, because that's just going to ruin your life too. I know you want to be petty, but at some point you do have to forgive. Plus, if I may, most of the value of the haunting probably happens within the first few years of haunting. At some point, it becomes normalized for them, right? Like, they get to the point where they're like, and you don't want this to happen, where they're just bored with the haunting and they're like, yeah, I see you. Go ahead, rattle the dishes or whatever. Knock the vase off and break it. It's nothing I've never seen before. So if you really want to mess with them, what you should do is haunt them for like a little bit and then go away and live your life in heaven for like, maybe like 3 years. You know, long enough to give them a little break, but make them think that it's permanent. And then come back and haunt them for like a decade straight. But after you do that, after you've like dominated them spiritually and psychologically, at that point you gotta move on, man. Because like, the afterlife is too short to be spending your time on petty grievances like, you know, haunting the driver of the Toyota Tacoma that jumped the sidewalk and killed you. I'm realizing, by the way, I think I was wrong about Converter. I think it works on 1 now. It's crazy to me that they've been changing stuff in this game, but yeah, definitely was wrong. Didn't really seem to make a difference, but still, kind of crazy. And now we got a run, bro, and now we do not only have a run, we have a streak. And you're gonna say, NL, you don't have a streak yet. You're counting your chickens before they hatch. You haven't beaten the boss yet. Grow up. This one's over. If your team's down 3-0 and it's the final minute of the hockey game, it's over. I'm sorry to say, you can go home. You don't have to, you can stand there and clap for your team, or you can clap, you can salute the national anthem or whatever, but your team's done. You're gonna go home, you're gonna be disappointed. Accept that. Unless your team sucks, in which case you're gonna go home and be like, yes, we lost! There's a chance we can get Stenberg or McKenna. Or the third guy, who I haven't thought of yet. I don't remember his name, the guy who's supposed to go number 3 in the draft, but I should learn it because I believe that's the most likely option that the Canucks will pick at. Yes, we have a clown league where coming in last place makes you the most likely to pick 3rd in the draft. But anyway, let me out of this. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps it a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And of course, I'll see you next time. Later!